How to install and use the Pattern Builder Kit for Procreate. Step 1. Install brushes. I uploaded my brush kit on my iPad and put it inside the download section. You can also have it on your Dropbox if you want. And the procedure is the same. Click once on the zip file, it will open. Then you click on the file, select the brush set that you want to upload. Click once, it will upload automatically to Procreate. Click on the plus sign to create a new canvas. And in the brushes set, it will show as the first kit uploaded. Step 2. How to use the brushes. Purpose of these brushes is to save time with already built shapes that have guides to help making pattern easier. With these guides, you can be precise when building more complex pattern. For the brushes, I will be testing one basic shape and one composite. So I'm gonna start a new layer, go to my Pattern Builder Kit and select the brush I want. Then I'm gonna select the color blue for my guide because the design that I'm working on is clear, and adjust the size and click once in the center of the canvas, select transform and fit to canvas. Now I can start sketching. I usually use the color gray and select crayon 6B for my sketch. As my design is symmetrical, I'm gonna go to the wrench tool, go to canvas and select drawing guide. In the edit drawing guide, I'm gonna select symmetry and options. And I'm using vertical for this one. You can adjust the color of your guide and the opacity, then click done. Now I'm gonna start sketching. If you're satisfied with your sketch, what you can do is duplicate it 4 times. Then duplicate the guide the same way 4 times. Select one guide and one sketch. Select the transform tool and snap them to the corners. I'm gonna duplicate this layer again 4 times, and I'm gonna keep one layer, the original one, and I'm gonna snap each one half the size to the corner of the canvas. To see if my pattern is working. Now you can see that the pattern is repeating correctly. I can start coloring. For the coloring, we're gonna make the same procedure by starting a new layer, select the drawing assist and choosing the color that we want, and start coloring on making sure the word assisted on the layer to use the symmetry. Now, if you're satisfied with the color, group the layers and duplicate them. And like we did with the sketches, I'm gonna duplicate them 4 times and the guides 4 times. And I'm gonna keep one of them as original and hide it. I select the colored layers and one of the guides and snap them to the corners. Duplicate the pattern 4 times again and make them half the size and snap them to the corner to see if the pattern is working. As you can see, the pattern is working fine. For the composite brush, I'm gonna go to the pattern builder kit, select one of the composite. I'm gonna use the circle star, select the color of my guide, starting a new layer and click in the center of the canvas, select transform and fit to canvas. Now I have my guide centered. I lower a bit the opacity. Create a new layer for my sketch. I usually use gray and I use crayon 6B. I usually use symmetry in my designs. I'm gonna go to the wrench tool, the canvas and the drawing guide and select edit drawing guide, and in the symmetry I click on the options. Now I'm gonna use quadrant and I'm gonna use rotational symmetry. It will be repeating in a directional way. Click done. Make sure that the drawing assist is active on the layer before start drawing. I'm gonna make contour of the bird. Go again to the symmetry guide and adjust the position of my guide to one of the circles. Create a new layer, select the drawing assist and start sketching. I duplicate it 3 more times and duplicate the guides also 3 more times. Select one guide and one sketch and move them to have the canvas using the snapping to make sure it fit on the corner. Now I'm gonna design the center of the pattern. I'm gonna create a new layer. Make sure the drawing assist is active on it. Go to the drawing assist and make sure to reset the quadrant guide and the rotational symmetry is off. Select done and start sketching. Now that I have the pattern in the center, I'll do the same. I'll duplicate the guides twice to move them to the top and the bottom. And to see if my pattern is working, I'm gonna select all, group them, duplicate the sketch, hide it, and flatten the copy. Duplicate it 4 times, select transform, and make them half the size of the canvas. My pattern is working fine. Now I can start coloring. I'm gonna hide the repeat pattern, make the big one, and activate the guide. I'm choosing a dark background, so I'm gonna change the color of my guide. I'll create a new layer, use the clipping mask, and select a white color, and my guides will change to a clearer one. And if you don't see your sketch, you can change the color of your sketch too, but I'm okay with this. And I'm gonna start coloring. So I'm gonna start with the birds like I did with the sketch. I'm gonna create a new layer, activate the drawing assist, go to the wrench tool, select canvas at drawing assist, and edit the drawing assist. In the symmetry, I'm gonna choose quadrant and use the rotational symmetry. The red won't show as a guide on this one, so I'm gonna select the green and adjust the opacity, click done, and make sure that the word assisted on the layer. Also for the flowers, I'm gonna adjust my drawing guide, select the symmetry, remove rotational symmetry, and place the guide around the first bird. And make sure to have layers separately for the birds, for the flowers, for the pattern, so you can adjust your design easier. And make sure that drawing assist is active on the layer. And like we did on the sketch, I'm gonna duplicate the flowers 4 times and do the same for the guides. Select the guide and the group and move them. I can start working on the centerpiece. Create a new layer, return to the drawing assist, select canvas and drawing assist, edit drawing assist, reset the center of my guide, and make sure the rotational symmetry is off and the layer has the drawing assist on it. And as I did with the sketch, gonna group this one, duplicate it twice, and duplicate the guide twice. Select the guide and the group and move them to the top using the snapping tool. Then I select all the colors, group them, duplicate them, and merge them with the background just to see if the pattern is working. I duplicate the flattened layer 4 times. Now I can see that my pattern is working. I have a class on Skillshare on how to create symmetrical patterns in Procreate if you're interested to have more options for your patterns.